Yay. Okay, Alice, thank you so much for choosing such a perfect song, right? Isn't that what we're here to do today? Raise the vibe? Woo, I know that's my intention. And so I'd like to just invite us all to take a collective breath, because those that breathe together receive together. Right? And let us come into that heart coherence. Because the theme of working outside the box is perfect for me, for those of you who know me. And I love that our community is taking on issues that stretch and grow us, because I believe that that is what our teaching is all about. We must become comfortable with being uncomfortable and move beyond that which is familiar, for that is the landscape of the limited. So our stretch today begins by looking at reclaiming the disowned. So this is the core of the work that I have come to focus on in the 15 years of working with my clients. And there is so much I could share with you. I have worked so hard to compress this so that it can be digested, right? But I invite you to find the kernel that falls in your heart, right? Because we only need the size of a mustard seed for things to begin to change and shift within us, okay? So I want to share, I'll be bringing a 3-step process, and I want you to be able to return to it again and again, just like the breath, right? Because when we meditate or when we regulate, we return again and again to that breath that centers us. So whether or not this is your first step or your 100th step, I invite you to take your next step, because that is always what is most important in and as our life. So here we are, 3-step process. We're going to reclaim the truth, rename our parts, and reframe our hearts. Okay? So you might ask, well, what truth are we seeking to reclaim? Well, I'm standing in the fundamental principle that we base our whole teaching of Science of Mind in, and that is the idea of oneness. Okay? It is our most precious pearl and our most perilous pearl of our teaching. Because not only do I believe that we are called to understand oneness, I believe we are on the frontier to make that bold and brave movement to embody oneness. Yes. So let us look to the quote from Ernest in our understanding of this. I also want to give permission to anyone that if the word God is a trigger for you, please allow another word to land softly on your heart. I often use spirit or love so that you can keep your heart open and available to the message underneath, right? So God is life, not some life, but all life. God is action, not some action, but all action. God is power, not some power, but all power. God is presence, not some presence, but all presence. And God is pure spirit filling all space. So let that settle with you, because you could use the word love. Love is life, not some life, but all life. Spirit is action, not some action, but all action. So when I became a new practitioner, I thought, well, this is a nice theory, right? Like this must be a compass that they're talking about, a North Star to look to, right? Because when I look around, I don't see oneness. I don't feel oneness. And I certainly didn't when I began this journey. And the more I sat with it, I thought, no, I think they're serious. I think this is something serious we're trying to embrace and embody here. So from the outside in, most people suffer from segregation, separation, and alienation in the world in which we live. And I thought, wow, I'm going to need to make a leap in my consciousness, right? suspend what I see around me, and to ask deeply within me, what if? What if? What if? What if what they're talking about is true? And isn't that what all great minds have to do? Right? They come to the world with this new idea. They don't see it around them. They're bringing it through them. And it made me remind me of Walt Disney. Okay? Imagine being Walt Disney. He wants to build the happiest place on earth. And he starts looking for people to work with him in his visions. And when he hired his engineers, what did he do? He named them Imagineers. They weren't engineers, they were Imagineers. So what if we anointed ourselves as Imagineers today so that we could see something beyond what is in front of us? So I'm going to invite you to put on your Mickey Mouse ears with me while you're listening today, because I'm going to take you beyond maybe what you thought, or certainly beyond the appearances, and to hold a space of possibility. That oneness is actually our true nature. What if we drop the lens of separation that can only and always produce the experience of othering, right? Because when we separate parts of ourself, we disown our wholeness. When we segregate parts of the population, we disown our humanity. And when we alienate the needs that are upon the planet, we deny the pain and dis-ease from the very ground of our being up. Okay. So what radical change is needed? Remember, when I said we're going to get comfortable with being uncomfortable here, right? We need to be Imagineers, suspending our identification with the form that is in front of us. Do you hear what I just said? Yeah, we're all locked into this form, right? But I'm asking us to suspend that form and to, even if it seems contradictory, anyone who's a practitioner knows one of Ernest's most famous quotes is, turn away from the condition, right? Not because it might not be a fact, but it is not our point of power. The condition is the form in front of us, not the point of creation that exists within us. Do you see? Here, now, new, as us. It is an echo, right? We speak and the echo's out there, but where's our point of power? Right here, right? So even Einstein agrees with us, right? He agrees with this. We cannot solve a problem from the same mind space it was created, right? So when we come as a practitioner to be with a person, we create and we pray and we intend from what we want, not from where we are. All right, we're Imagineers here, okay? I'm not denying or dismissing the facts around us, and that's a very slippery slope. And let me tell you, there's many doorways where we could spend an hour talking about just this one thing. I could spend a whole weekend talking to you, okay? The hardest thing is to try to talk to you in 20 minutes. But what if simply imagining that which is in front of us is not the whole truth among us, right? How do we take this bright, shining star, a compass, it truly is, this idea of oneness, into our direct personal experience? Truly, because if I can't embody it, what is the point? Truly, I'll just be participating in a spiritual bypass, cognitive dissonance. What I say and what I do are not in alignment. I believe that direct action is needed. So my invitation to you is to step into the practice of no longer participating in any form of against. Love it. And to allow that to become our personal practice. Okay, ready? Be Imagineers with me for a moment again, all right? What's against one? What's against one? Nothing. Do you see? When there's one, everything is already here. It's already included. It's already now. It takes separation. It takes separation to be against. Right, wrong, good, bad, black, white, me, you, us, them. Don't get trapped in that form. That is the fake news. Okay, that's the fake news that they want to propagate to create separation. And all of these disowned places and spaces that we're here to reclaim today are actually created from being against, right? Inside of oneness, everything is for. Working together, we see this in our body and in the landscape of the earth. Oh, I'm so grateful for Facebook. When I woke up this morning, I saw this quote from Buckminster Fuller, and I'm like, I'm putting that in today. Okay, so he says, I'm convinced that creativity is a priority to the integrity of the universe. Nature is totally efficiently self-generating system. If we discover the laws that govern this system and live synergistically within them, sustainability will follow and humankind will be a success. Here's the most important part. We are called to be architects of the future, not victims of it. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. If I just look at the form, then I'm a victim. But when I come back to this present moment where the creative energy is alive and awake within me, within thee, then I have an opportunity to create something new. I can align with that. What if this is our true nature? And that I and you, we all can begin to embody it now with this very simple and so very challenging practice of not being against anything. Woo! Right here, right now. So one of Ernest's most famous talks, he gave at the beautiful Asilomar in Northern California. And this is an excerpt from his Sermon by the Sea. Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of their soul. And I will find another Savior, another Jesus, and an exalted human being. Let's just take that in for a minute. Because when I read that this time, I heard myself say, what if? What if that was Jesus's path? That was what he was doing and living and being all along. The very simple practice of being for and not against. Everywhere, everything, all the time. Especially in your mind. Especially in your mind. And then I thought, no wonder he told Peter, we're not to forgive 7 times, but to forgive 7 times 70. Okay? Because that's how many times you're going to meet and greet this place within you that wants to judge. More than that. Because if we really take on this practice, you won't have time to participate in fear. You won't have time to worry about what someone else is doing over there. You'll be spending all of your time in self-forgiveness and loving kindness. Right? Yeah. What a gift. Now I know, and this is a thing, again, here's another doorway. I could go on for a couple of days and talk about this right here, but our nervous system is wired to be prepared to protect us. Okay? That's where that instinct of fear and against really comes from. So most of what that looks like is being against. We're wired for fear. But that will never, ever be where our freedom is. So I invite you right here and right now to forgive yourself. How about if we lay down the burden that we're wired, that this is our base, that evolution has set us up to be prepared to defend ourselves. So I love the quote someone said to me the other day, forgive the first thought and rewire the second one, right? So the first thought, the first instinct is going to come up to be against. Oh, we just let that go. We know we're part of humanity. Not that there's something wrong with me, not that I'm bad, but that it's part of what I am. The second thought, that's where our power is. What am I going to choose? How am I going to move? What am I going to decide right there, right? Oh, I believe, and I'm telling you, I mean this to the tips of my toes and the top of my head, that this is the most important piece of practice that any of us could ever align with. What if? What if we practice 6 hours a day like the Olympians do in the gym, right? On this simple but also challenging task, to no longer react to fear, but to respond from love. I believe that's what we're here to do. And I believe that that's what we're waking up to. We're really here to rewire this whole experience of our nervous system. Okay, step 2 in the process. I said I had 3 steps. Renaming. We get to rename all that we have been against, all that we have judged within ourselves and all around us, and live from a wider lens of love, right? And deepen, as I began to deepen this practice within myself and work with it with my clients, because I tell you, that's what it is when people come and they're in pain. We have to begin right here. We have to call back those disowned parts of ourselves. I began to hear this mantra, and it's one of deep loving kindness and forgiveness, both which are necessary to reclaim our truth and rename our parts. So I invite you into the mantra. I'm going to ask you to just stretch your arms open. Even if you touch someone, isn't that lovely? We're all here together in our humanity, right? Yes, yes, I love it. I now call in the pieces, parts, and fragments of my heart. Take a breath. Take a breath. To all of those parts of ourselves we have disowned and left alone. We've stuffed them away in the dark, right? Buried under the burden of our shame and blame and all of our judgment. It is ours to turn towards and tend to. Turn towards and tend to these pieces and parts and fragments of my heart. I can tell you right now, I'm going to be doing it tonight when I lay in bed thinking, I wish I had said that. Oh, I wish I could have done that better. Absolutely, right? And I'm going to go, come here, just give him a little noogie. It's good, give a little noogie. Yeah, like I see you. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's so important to remember ourselves in the wholeness of one. We can do it anywhere. You see me at the grocery store, I'm probably walking around. It's okay. It's all right. I hear you. Very important. These are really important words for us to say to each other. Because what if the burden upon the soul that Ernest spoke of was just this great misunderstanding. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Imagineers, where's your little ears? That all that we are experiencing in this sense of separation is just a misunderstanding. That we could never be separate, that we could never be apart. Oh my goodness. So let this reframe our hearts. Okay? We're going to reclaim this truth and keep it as our compass. Yes, we keep looking up because I don't always live in oneness. Ha ha ha. Ask my husband, ask my family. We all know this. So we hold it as our compass, but then we bring it in to our direct experience. What's my next step in this, right? Oh, it's to rename. It's to call in these pieces and parts and fragments of my heart, and it's to reframe that we could never be separate or apart. So how do we do this? Oh, there's so many ways. Again, we could talk for days. But let us begin to live into yes and. Yes and. Right, wrong, good, bad is either or. That's not the truth of the universe. How could there be two possibilities in the universe? It can't be. Open your heart and live into the yes and. It's freer and wider and opener there, right? But what's the first thing that's going to come up? You're going to have to notice the most dangerous animal in the world. What is that? The yabbut. The yabbut. 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 Right? I tell you, it is the most dangerous animal in the world, because the minute we start to move into oneness and wholeness, the wiring of our nervous system, that which has been there to protect us, is going to say, wait a minute, yeah, but look at all this evidence. That's why we turn away from the form. The form is the evidence of the old. We come back to the creation, the space of the now, right? And how do we do that? We let love lead, and lead with love. We haven't even begun. We have not even begun to step into the power of love. We have been so hoodwinked by the power of money and all this other stuff. No. I'm talking the power of love. Let it lead, and lead with it, which you'll be doing if you're not being against. Right? Oh, every minute that yeah but's gonna come up, and you're gonna say, I see you, yeah, but you're not taking over here. Okay? Return again and again to the present moment, for that is our point of creation. Why do you think that people have been meditating for years and years? It's not to have these experiences out there, it's to land right here in the now and to be part of the creative energy of the universe. And another place we could talk about for a long time, God only exists in the now. Only now. The past and the future are figments or forms of our limited mind. God doesn't follow us there. The divine source doesn't follow us there. It's right here, waiting for us to engage, to come together. That's where we live, in the vast realm of possibilities and potentiality, not the limited landscape of our fear-based mind. So what is our call to action? Oh, there's many. Whatever nugget dropped in for you, let it be your next step. But I say we get to awaken to our oneness. Start living inside out, no longer outside in. Right? And then we commit to living from for. What is it that you're for? What is it that you want? Not what you're against. No longer living from that limited scope. And we get to embody love as an act of evolution, not revolution. Revolution is against. Revolution is the old. And truly, how long have we been doing that? Here we go again. No, it's time to begin. It's time to evolve. It's time to become. And all we have to do is invite it in. So let us come in to prayer. How good it is to be awake, alive, and aware of this powerful presence of love that is seeking to move through me, that is seeking to move through thee. Every radiant being here in this room, all the radiant beings watching, every blessed human upon this planet being called forth to evolve and to dissolve that which no longer serves, that which no longer works, that which is not the truth of life or love. Oh, I say yes, yes. Let us all say yes, yes. That now is the time and we are the ones. And truly, it's already begun. It's already here. It's already now. Why? Because there's only one. And I grant that one full permission to be known and shown in and through every cell and every system, every muscle and every molecule, my whole body temple and the whole body of our affairs, lifted, blessed, healed, revealed, brought back to the membership of love. I accept this and I expect it. Because now as we release it onto the law which is the creative energy of the universe, that it can only multiply and magnify, can and shall not return back void. It is here. It is now and it is done. And we let it be. And so it is.